Can't
we got a
hear.
special edition of a Shot of Sports podcast for y'all today, y'all. We going live a couple hours before game time, Super Bowl Sunday. We're gonna do some Super Bowl picks, talk about pathways for teams to actually win, for either team to win, Philly or Kansas City, what it means for some of the quarterbacks, um, and ultimately we're gonna do some, but we're gonna start off with some of the award shows from this past week. Starting off with Defensive Player of the Year. What you thinking about Defensive Player of the Year pick? See,
Um, I guess it was the right choice for defensive player of the year. No defenders really stood out this year. I know in the past it's typically gone to whoever the sack
kind of
leader
like
was.
I kind of like Braun though. I think Braun had a really good season, especially considering he was a bargain.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I again, most of y'all know this. My two favorite positions in pro football are tight ends and linebackers. Um, I think both positions do both everything for both sides of the ball. But I think he benefited a lot from his D line.
It's fair. All
Jay,
linebackers do.
yeah, but not showing a bias or nothing. But Jalen Carter and N'Kobe Dean are just outstanding players. It has something to do with the school they attended and the coach they played for. But that's neither here nor there. Um,
Got to work in your SEC bias. I see.
so I see I can see a path for Bond. I think that went against him. They did have a number one defense, so that should have helped him. Um, PS2, he was good. I just think it was a
I
down
think
year for defense.
I think it's safe to say he was arguably the best corner in football this year. I mean, as much as I love Christian Gonzalez, I think PS2 had a
I, I listen. He's not better than Gonzo, and it could be called a bias or whatever. He's not better than Gonzo.
it's pretty. I mean, we not talking like Patrick Surtain ain't that guy. You know what I'm saying?
He, and this is
He's
not a
one of those guys.
disrespect to.
He's one
This
of
is
those guys.
I'm going to be called a hater, and I'm going to point it out. This is not me saying Patrick Surtain is not that guy. This is me bigging up Christian Gonzalez. Patrick Surtain is the second best corner in the league, and it's not far off, but Gonzo's just better. I mean,
Gonzo's a bad boy. Gonzo's a bad boy, but I think PS2 got the CB1 on lock. Just at least this year. I mean, and I
well,
think
yeah, I mean
the, the
this year
only thing
you
the only thing I have to give him credit, like I said, he the thing about it is while Gonzo was great this year, his impact wasn't felt as much as PS2's was. In my opinion, obviously because the defense in New England wasn't as great, and I think he was underutilized in my opinion with what we did
well,
with him defensively.
well we didn't have the best DC. Um, Look at Goku scoring, but we didn't have the best DC. Uh, Again, they have a great DC. I think the difference is Gonzo's better at traveling. PS2 did travel. PS2 is a better tackler. I would love for Gonzo to work on that in off season.
I
But
feel like every time he
P,
get hurt, it's because he tackled.
yeah, so he needs to gain a little weight or something. Stop using them resistance bands and get some real steel and iron and lift some weights.
Sleeping on the resistance bands.
No,
All right.
no.
What about the fact that offensive player of the year? Okay, kind of get into that because a lot of people are up in arms about the fact that Jamar Chase didn't get a vote for OPOY.
So the reason is how you just eloquently put it. Impact. Jamar Chase triple crown. Get it. Great season. His quarterback, great season, great numbers. They were at home in December.
Fair, fair. But I also think
They were. Uh,
it's something to be said about the fact that um Saquon had, the impact that Saquon obviously had, as on top of the fact that they said, well, the last time they had a triple crown winner, he got votes. But it's like there was a lot of good players that played on the offensive side of the ball this year.
yeah,
A lot, a lot of yeah, it was a lot of talent that was so showcased. across
I
the
I
NFL this
I
year.
think it was more so a lot of bad defense. I said that earlier. It was not a good defensive year. DC's just didn't do a great job of what they were supposed to do. Nobody like, and this might be a Belichick thing that I'm used to, but nobody took away a team's most explosive offensive player and made someone else beat you. So I miss Belichick for that.
That's fair.
But I, you can't, a 2,000-yard rusher who could have easily broke the record, could easily broke the all-time rushing record. They was blowing. They had some blowouts. They had a lot of, you know, they sat him at the last game. They had some blowouts earlier in the season where he didn't even play in the fourth quarter. So I can't dismiss that. And they're playing today. Triple Crown man, the last Triple Crown winner, he played this Sunday. You know, he won Super Bowl MVP.
But it's a regular season award. You got to be fair about that.
Well, in the regular season, your impact wasn't enough to get you to the postseason.
It's
So
fair.
I can't reward people for not getting to the postseason. And
That's
that's
fair.
not to say he didn't have a great season because he had an all-time great season. Jamar Chase is a top 5 receiver. People will argue number one. I'm not there yet, but he's definitely in the top 5.
Who would you put in front of Jamar besides Jets?
I keep telling y'all, Jay Jeff. But nobody want to listen to me. I've been saying that since LSU days.
So, but I think most people wouldn't debate necessarily Jets. But you said top 5. So do you have anybody else in front of him?
You put me on the spot. Probably.
I am. I am.
Uh, not not off the top of my head. He could probably be 2. He probably is 2.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Just wanted to clarify because you said top 5. I'm like, sweet. Can you put in front of Jamar? Because I got Jamar one. I got Jamar one. Got him over Jets. Just slightly.
That's because you like a lot of people like all that cute ball, that one play explosive stuff. I need a guy who we need a
Hey,
10
I mean,
play.
let's not act like Jamar ain't giving you everything under the sun too. He
I'm,
had a lot of games where he had 10, 11, 12 catches this
he's more of a big play guy. Like Jay Jets, we know he gonna give me the 10 play 80-yard drive. He's capable of that with bums at QB. Like he's not playing with Burrow. He's playing with what y'all thought Sam Darnold was.
year. Fair, fair. Let's get into the MVP conversation. I know how are you feeling about Josh Allen winning MVP?
Anybody who watches football and knows how the media is knew that this was a setup that they were giving him MVP. So I'm gonna have a side question after this, but he won it. Good job. Clap for him. He should. He didn't give enough praise to Joe Brady. He said the coaching staff and teammates and all that. He should have said 90% of his award is going to Joe Brady. But whatever, it happened. He deserved it. Kinda. I mean, it Lamar had better stats. Burrow had better stats. But I I guess it was Josh's time. I don't know. I don't know. But we knew
Throw it.
he was getting it, so there was no real debate in it.
Did you? Because I could have sworn, I definitely could have sworn we was on here a couple weeks ago with Chris. Both of y'all said he wouldn't even make All Pro, let alone win league MVP.
I listen. The more
And
they
I
the
told you he
more
wouldn't.
but the more the media kept talking, we knew that they were just handing it to Josh Allen.
Candidate.
He
Okay.
we so deserved. I guess I'm gonna say deserved, but that's only to make sure people don't call me a hater. But come on, man, we that should have been Lamar. But honestly, it y'all know who I thought the MVP was, but mine is so far fetched that I don't even want to say it out loud. But he's playing today, and he'll probably be Super Bowl MVP. But
He's
that's
not talking about Saquon, by the way.
so again. I if anybody watched NFL Countdown this morning, it was said Saquon can't do what Saquon is doing without the guy operating the offense. Again, every quarterback can throw the football at this level. I need operation.
I don't know about every quarterback. I'm not saying
Most.
I'm
You're
not
right.
saying that. Now, what I will say is this. Last season, I don't remember people being so frustrated with who won the league MVP. It was weird. I want to put something out there from last season, right? Lamar Jackson last season wasn't top 10 in any passing category
Mm-hmm.
for one league MVP. Um, I want to give the stats of a quarterback from last year compared to Lamar Jackson. Not even gonna say who this quarterback was. This quarterback played in 17 games, had 4,700 yards, had 38 total touchdowns, 11 turnovers, 70 completion percentage. This was Lamar Jackson last year in his MVP season. Played in 16 games, 4,400 yards, 29 touchdowns, 13 turnovers, and 67 completion percentage. By those numbers, you would say that other quarterback potentially, probably just by the numbers, probably should have won the MVP over Lamar, right?
You would.
Okay.
If you just going
Um,
off stats, yeah.
but that's what everybody's using to say it. Lamar Jackson should win the MVP over Josh Allen this year. So we can safely say nobody had a problem with Lamar winning it last year because it was exclusively on Baltimore having the best record in football. That's what got him the MVP last year. Was
Well, the
record.
did the Bills have the best record in football?
No,
Oh,
they
okay.
had they had a better record in Baltimore. Just being fair. But the quarterback that I'm talking about, by the way, is Dakota Prescott.
Yeah, I know. I knew
Yeah,
that,
that that
and
was that was Dakota
I'm
Prescott's
not
numbers.
paying. That's why I just didn't pay
That's
attention.
that's Dakota Prescott's numbers, and he was All Pro last year, by the way. Um,
Wasn't
Nobody
paying no
said
attention.
Dak probably should have won MVP last year. Why is that? He had a pretty good. They went I believe 12-5 last year, like one or two games worse than Baltimore.
So worse. Um,
They were worse. They were a worse football team, but I mean, if we're not taking record into account, what else did Lamar have over him?
so I'm the guy who. This is why my MVP is always going to be different than probably
He did.
who actually wins it. If I judge it off, if I take that player off the team, what would that team look like? If I take Lamar off the Ravens, they're nothing. If I take Josh Allen off the Bills, they still win the division because the division
No,
was
they
in.
don't. Don't do that. Don't do that. No, 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 not heck no. I'm not letting you get away with that. You're not. You
Who
take Josh Allen off of that football team, and they're probably a 2 or 3 win football team. Let's not do that, bro. Let's not do that.
I am going to do that because we got two we got the remaining three teams in that division picking in the top 10.
Right? Last time I checked, Miami was what, an 8 or 9 win team this year?
Were they?
Yeah, they won
Oh,
like
okay,
eight or
so
nine games.
we got two teams picking in the
So they're
top
not
10
winning.
and Miami.
They're not winning the division
Why ain't they?
because I guarantee you Miami would have won the division, and you'd have had Miami. And I would honestly go as far as to say Buffalo might be a worse football team than the Jets or New England if you take Josh Allen off that team.
I'm not ready to say that. I'm seeing this comment about Derrick Henry. Y'all know I'm the biggest Derrick Henry fan, but we've seen Derrick Henry without a quarterback. He was a
Yeah.
free agent because of it.
Well, he also took a team to the AFC Championship game.
He did.
He has done that in the past. Let's not discount King Henry.
He did with the current coach in the New England Patriots.
He beat
Go
he beat
go
Lamar he beat
Pats.
Lamar Jackson, did he? He beat
Go
Lamar
Pats.
Jackson in the playoffs, one.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm just want to clear that out.
That we're talking about a running back 5 years ago who still had almost 2,000 yards because
This year, okay, just make sure
he
you
had
clear it
almost
up.
2,000 yards because of that guy who operates the offense.
I feel like no, I feel like he had almost two. They complemented each other. I don't think you sit up there and say one
That I don't
made the
like
other.
that. I don't
I
like
don't.
that because
It's called complementary football. You know that.
I don't like that because then I get to Saquon and we just say, oh, Saquon was just the guy.
I'm
Well,
not saying that. I'm not saying that because
didn't Hurts compliment him?
absolutely, and that's one of the reasons that we gonna get into that once we get go ahead and get to the to the Super Bowl. I got some conversations about Saquon, and
Now
I love Saquon.
I have a question.
So,
So a guy won back. First of all, it's not a good thing to win comeback player of the year twice because that means you came back from injury twice, which means you're injury prone. But another topic for another day. Is Josh Allen better than Joe Burrow? Because Josh Allen got he got an MVP. Joe Burrow has a Super Bowl loss. With, so that's not really an
Are you
award.
asking me? Are you asking me this?
I'm not asking you because everyone knows your answer. I'm putting it in the atmosphere because I want to hear the Burrow bunch with their rebuttal on this one because one has an MVP, one has he played well after coming back from injury again.
I'll put
Twice.
it like this. If Josh Allen retired tomorrow, he'd be closer to being a Hall of Famer than Joe Burrow is.
So I'm putting it. I'm not giving an answer.
Fair.
I'm putting in an atmosphere for people to know that, for people to like really sit there and look and think about it. Like, what does Burrow have over Josh Allen? What does Josh Allen have over Burrow?
It's fair. But getting back to MVP, I think the committee got it fairly right. But I think this also goes to more of an issue with, in my opinion, what we deem to be most valuable player, and not just the NFL and the NBA, because I feel like we always have these situations where one person has one definition and another person has another definition of most valuable player. Some people think it should go to the best player in the league or best quarterback, or when you talk about the NBA, best player, who's most valuable to their team, who's most valuable to the league. I feel like there has to be more of a clear definition that's given. A clear criteria was given to what's deemed most valuable player. Dan Orlovsky, who is said that he had he and I think Emmanuel Acho both
Yep, I
gave
was
their
gonna bring that up.
opinions on why they voted the way they did, because both of them voted. I think both of them said that they voted Lamar Jackson first team All Pro, but not league MVP. And they gave
That makes no sense.
to me.
It makes
What
zero sense.
it makes sense to me, and I'll reiterate what they said. Essentially, what they said was they felt like Lamar Jackson was the best quarterback this year, which I don't have any issue with that. Here's the reason why I say we need more of a criteria for MVP. What's the criteria? If we're talking about most valuable, that's not necessarily means the best quarterback. That's not what that means necessarily. By definition, if we're talking, we're bringing up the word value and what somebody brings as far as value to the team. I would definitely say go as far as to say Josh Allen may have been more valuable, considering the fact Lamar Jackson had 9 Pro Bowlers on his team. Josh Allen had 1.
Going off that fan vote BS.
Well,
The
you can't
flag
you
football.
can't dismiss you can't dismiss every individual accolade, bro. You do the same thing with all pros, so you can't dismiss every individual accolade. At some point, you got to
The
acknowledge something.
flag football game, man.
But go ahead.
But I was gonna bring up the Emmanuel Acho, but you did it. But so a guy like Khalil Shakur, who you keep disrespecting, I keep saying, but he can play. He's never going to be a Pro Bowler. Are we going to discredit that he was number 1 in the league in yards after catch?
No, he was pretty. He did his job.
So,
but nobody's.
A guy like that is never going to be in the Pro Bowl. So I'm not about to. Oh, Lamar Jackson had Pro Bowl Zay Flowers. Zay Flowers barely had more yards than him.
Don't do that. Zay Flowers is definitively a better receiver. Don't do that. And it wasn't barely. It wasn't barely. Zay had over 1,000. Shakir didn't have anywhere near 1,000 yards receiving.
Like it wasn't like grossly out of there. Then Amari Cooper came off a down year from a Browns team. Amari Cooper's a great receiver. This was a top 5 pick in the NFL draft. This was a former Heisman Trophy runner-up. Like we not about to act like he had nothing around him. Like he has 2 good tight ends.
This isn't a lifetime achievement award. Amari Cooper ain't the same Amari Cooper, bro.
But I'm just saying, like, they finally used James Cook, and guess what? James Cook went to the Pro Bowl. Like he has talent. I hate when they use that one had 9 Pro Bowlers, the other one had 1. Well, again, that was a setup to say, "Oh, Josh
Wow,
Allen
now
had a team."
we go in there. It's a setup. It's a
Listen,
setup.
the whole it was. I get we was giving it to
Yeah, you
Josh
keep
Allen
stumbling. Keep
because I'm
stuttering.
trying to say
Because
this in
you
the
know you
most.
talking BS. You know you
No,
saying
I'm
some
trying to
BS
say
right
this
now.
in the most non. Y'all gonna call me. Y'all, I don't want to be called a hater, but we knew Josh Allen was getting this award. Like it wasn't a, oh man, this is gonna be a tight race. Like
It was
I
actually
said,
tight. It was one of the tightest votes in NFL history outside of Steve McNair and Peyton,
yeah,
who were co
it
MVP.
was it was the second closest. But real talk, that was just it was set up. I'm gonna just go. It was set up. Buddy was winning that MVP, and I was cool with that. I don't really care. He again, the point was made today again on the NFL countdown today, which this is a point for a later topic. But when you play Patrick Mahomes, it's a bunch of quarterbacks that try to out Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes. This is what Josh Allen did 2 weeks ago, and this is why he's sitting at home watching. So he played out of his mind, I guess. Well, he just didn't turn the ball over as much and ran it from the 1, which y'all say that's all Jalen Hurts does. I mean, he's he's just tall Christian McCaffrey at this point, but he's the MVP of the league, so we respect it. Congrats to him. Congrats to Bills Mafia. Keep jumping through tables and continue to never have a Super Bowl.
Gonna keep shaping Josh Allen. It's cool. It's cool. Josh, in my opinion, Josh deserves to win the Super Bowl. It's really overdue, in my opinion. The guy's been nothing but just playing elite ball since he's been in the league, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Um, we can no longer sit up there and say it was Dable or Diggs. The guy's turned into a fairly good quarterback. He's turned into a fairly good quarterback.
He's a
From a
fairly
guy,
good quarter. I'm with you. He's a fairly good
and
quarterback. And bringing up Dable, they went from Dable to a guy who had who orchestrated the greatest offense in college football history in Joe Brady. We're not gonna
no,
act
that was
like we're not gonna
like
dismiss this.
no.
We're not gonna dismiss this. We're not. We're simply not.
So hold on. So didn't Jalen Hurts go from one good offensive coordinator to a bad one, and it showed? And then he gets another good offensive coordinator this year, and the game gets better for him. We can all acknowledge that your offensive coordinator definitely is
We
going to play a role.
but we don't give Jalen Hurts the credit he deserves. We've never done that. We're never going
Um,
to do that.
I
The
agree.
only
We'll
person
talk
that
about that
gets
later. We'll talk
credit
about that later.
the only person that gets credit in this NFL this season has been Josh Allen. It's been Josh Allen this, Josh Allen that, Josh Allen, Josh Allen.
I disagree. Disagree.
Like it's been the most annoying season. Like he's the only quarterback ever to get engaged during the season. Like God, I don't care. I don't care.
I don't agree with that at all.
Is Buddy gonna
Lamar
be
got plenty of flowers. Lamar
is
has gotten plenty of flowers over the last 3 years. So.
is Buddy going to beat Mahomes in the playoffs? No. The answer is no. Why? Because he's gonna roll right into a one of Spag's brilliant blitzes that was actually tipped off. One of the few times in Spags' great run with these Chiefs where he tipped off a blitz, and I saw it. And
I'm glad you can be critical of Lamar when he loses to Mahomes, but kind of like ignore when Lamar Jackson loses in the playoffs. It has a losing record. You are extremely hard on Josh Allen,
no,
who
I'm
has a
not.
much better playoff record than Lamar Jackson. You're a lot harder on Josh Allen.
Neither one of them have a bowl, so it really doesn't matter.
I'm just saying the
Lamar,
criticism is definitely different.
no,
I'm seeing
Lamar
different
last year,
criticism.
Lamar last year pissed me off because he tried to out Mahomes. Like that was the stupidest thing I've ever seen. It
Good
was literally
question.
the stupidest operation of football I've ever seen.
Good question, Chris. Good question. Good question.
Um, what are we talking? What is the question? You do need some pieces though. Like it's Carolina guys. Like we're not gonna act like they're not the laughing stock in the NFL.
On Bryce. You on Bryce, though, right?
Huh?
You on Bryce, right? You on Bryce.
His number one target is Adam Thielen and a guy who eats raccoon meat. What are we doing here? Come on, guys.
I'm just saying that you high on Bryce Young. I mean, if I put Josh Allen in Carolina, they're a much better football.
No, they're not. They're about the same.
What?
He's not
So
gonna get
Josh Allen, Josh
a bunch
Allen
of
doesn't
1 yard
make
runs,
Josh Allen is not going to make that Carolina team a whole lot better.
bro. I think this is not a Josh Allen diss. This is a Bryce Young. I guess big up in Bryce Young for what that boy is doing with that piss poor roster is amazing work. Like before he got benched, he was still complete. He still had the highest percentage of tight throw catchable passes.
Wait. You not about to just glance over the fact he got benched. You're not gonna sit up there and say he was spectacular and then ignore the fact he got benched.
I didn't say he was spectacular. I'm saying he had the
You not
highest
about to do that, bro.
catchable pass rate for
You
tight
not about
window
to do that,
throws.
bro.
This is a true stat. If you
That's
watch the game,
if
if you
you
watch a
like
game,
Bryce
it's
Young,
Adam Thielen, guys.
if you like Bryce Young, that's fine. But I'm
He's
not
an
about to
Alabama
allow
guy. I
you.
really don't.
I'm not about to let you put him and Josh Allen on the same platter, bro.
I
I'm
didn't
not
put him
about
on
to
the
do that.
same platter.
You
You
did
asked,
because
no. You
I asked the
asked me, would
question.
he be that much better? They would probably be an 8-win team. They wouldn't be in the playoffs. Eight
Okay,
or
that's
nine.
better. That's better. So that's significantly better.
It's still not playoffs.
It don't. All I said was significantly better. That was my point. I didn't say that
Okay,
they were a
they
playoff
probably
team.
win 2 or
They're
3 more
significant.
games.
They're significantly better. That's my point.
If 2 or 3 games is still not meaning the playoffs is significantly better, then we have different definitions. Then you're right. He would be. They would be significantly
They
better.
would be significantly better. You are that. They're
It was
significantly
what they
better.
won 5 games. They probably win 8. Okay, 3-game difference.
I think they won 4. Won 4, right?
I don't.
I would put them at 8.
Nobody
I'll put
pays
them at 8.
attention to
I'll
Carolina
put them at 8,
football.
9.
So
I'll put them at 8 to 9. I think that's fair.
nobody pays attention to Carolina football. Like
All right. How you feeling about the
keep
season as
pounding.
a whole? How you feeling about the season as a whole, bro?
This
Before
wasn't
we
a
get
very
to the
entertaining
football.
season. In my most, in my opinion, it wasn't an entertaining season. Again, with the defense player of the year, it was absolutely no defense played. Um, as far as great offensive players, it wasn't a lot of great offensive players. It was bad defense. This is a trickle down effect from this 7-on-7 league that we've turned into in the NFL. When I hear things like, Michael Vick would have dominated the game today if he would have played in this era instead of the past. Well, that just tells me they didn't.
Hold on,
Not playing defense now.
hold on. You just brought up my post, so I'm gonna get. I gotta respond to that now. Now, what what was meant by that wasn't how hard, wasn't how less physical the defenses were or anything like that.
No.
What was meant by that was the fact that you could actually that Mike would have an offense that was tailored around
Yeah.
what you did well. And I think that's fair to say. I think that that's completely fair to say that Mike would dominate when you're not trying to make him into something he's not. He was in Atlanta, he wasn't able to play Mike Vick type football until he got under Andy Reid. I've always said if Mike Vick would have been drafted by Philly, it would have got ugly for the league. It would have got really bad for the league if he'd have been there instead of Donovan McNabb. It'd have been ugly because Andy Reid is a guy who's going to tailor an offense around what you do well. He's not going to try to say sit up there and say this is my system and whatever happens happens. Like a lot of the coaches did early in the 2000s and so on. So that's what that post.
But I'm not shading the post. I'm just saying, like, for me, you say that way. I don't disagree with you, but also defenses are a lot worse. Like, there's not. It's just you got. Oh, I'm a man. I'm a man DC. I'm a zone type DC. Is we don't have a lot of Spags. Spags looks like he's an outlier because he'll switch it up. He'll blitz. We don't have a lot of that. Vic
I feel like it's
Fangio,
always been
he's
like that.
Vic
Like it's always
Fangio, he's a Spags Walmart version. He's an off-brand version of Spags. He'd do that same kind of stuff.
you feel like you've always had defensive coordinators that like to do certain things. Even Bill, to an extent, while he would play certain coverages and give you a whole bunch of different looks, Bill he used to love playing more man in zone.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but he
he
would
that's
go.
that
He would go zone, make adjustments.
for
Like
sure. For sure. I
I'm
think
not.
every defensive coordinator has their own style in that and what they like to run. I think every defensive coordinator has always.
And then the offense is all this. Oh, we're gonna. Let's do. We're gonna be RPO offense. We're gonna be this and that. Andy Reid has taken the West Coast offense. He's made it some kind of evolutionary thing that I'm like, you know, like I'd be mind blown at some of the plays the Chiefs run, like all the variations of screens and shuffle passes and all that. I'm like, this is like brilliant stuff, like the Andy Reid's giving us, like brilliant. It's not just a West Coast offense. So yeah, the OCs are in their bag in this generation. I will respect that because again, I'm a Sean McVay guy. That's my guy. Anybody that was under that tree, I want on my staff because I'm trying to learn from Sean McVay. But it's bad defense, so I wasn't entertained. I guess there was no real super team, but the Chiefs kept getting away with felonies all season to be 16-1 or whatever they were, 15-2. Like it was felonious assault what they were doing to these refs and the league. It wasn't a lot of excitement. The trade deadline wasn't exciting.
Is it
It
ever
was
exciting? Is it ever exciting?
sometimes you
I don't
get
think it's ever exciting. I don't think it's ever exciting.
I
Um,
it's some shockers. Like this year, everybody knew Devontae Adams was going to the Jets. And then they made a big deal and put it on a Pat McAfee show. Like, come on, man! Like we knew he was going there all along. Like, stop this. Like it just was. This year of any year felt like script.
I'll be honest with you. This year has not been fun, as fun as previous seasons. But
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. My opinion on that is a little skewed by all the stuff I had going on outside of the NFL season. Um, High school football took a lot out of me early on in the year. So by the time I could actually like jump into um the NFL, like really hone in on the NFL this year, we was like halfway through the season. So um and by that time my Patriots had really kind of like nosedive at that point. So for me, the season wasn't good, but it had nothing to do with the NFL. I actually think we got some really good football that was played this year. Obviously, I don't like the fact that we're talking about officiating as much as we are. We've definitely got to they got to address that during the summer. But I do think that some of that is unforeseen consequences of sports betting. Um, because now that sports betting is so widely done around the league, conspiracy theories are they're ramping up. If they weren't there before, you're definitely ramping them up now because it's like, okay, why wasn't this? Why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? You took away my over under. This guy lost 2 yards when he was supposed to like. I think that more so is the unintended consequence of us now looking at officiating and how games are played and everything like that. But for me, the league was fine this year. It was fine.
Well, first of all, to go to your high school football thing, that's because you didn't listen to me. I told you how taxing the high school football season was.
It was very mentally taxing.
I,
It
I,
was
I
very
told
mentally.
I told you don't. I told you you need to find you some things where you can mellow out and don't have to pay attention to it. You didn't listen. You wanted to go all in. You went head first in. I said don't do that. I did that, and that's the
Yeah,
result you got.
yeah. By the time the high school season was over, I needed a complete break from football.
So yeah. So that's your fault. But
I said it
but
wasn't the
I
NFL.
but the point you made about the officiating, it was league wide. There were some really bad calls. Like, yes, we know refs are, they're biased towards the home team, but Mahomes having what, uh 15 unsportsmanlike conduct penalties called against him, and the next highest person was like 3. Come on, man. That's that stats like that. The holding penalties, the drastic percentage of the league average as compared to, I'm watching Trey Smith, who's about to get $100 million contract. He holds every single play. Big fella's left foot does not move.
Not be
His
fair though.
left foot does not move.
Can we be fair though? Real quick, the 2 tackles for Kansas City have been penalized more than any offensive lineman in the NFL this year.
But their left and right feet don't move.
I'm saying they get called for penalties.
They
Kansas City,
don't, like, you
Kansas
have
City
to.
gets called. Kansas City gets called significantly, specifically on their offensive line. They get called.
Like, it's getting out of hand, because we're gonna watch a game today where Jalen Carter is going to be held by Trey Smith several times, and it may get called once, and that'll be the first time in the Super Bowl that the Chiefs have been called for holding.
Let's get into the game then. You already kind of segued into it. So what does let's start off with Kansas City. What does Kansas City have to do to win the Super Bowl today?
Very simply put, Andy Reid has got to treat this game and his play calling the way he builds a burger when he goes out to dinner with his wife and family. He has to put that kind of thought into it. He does that, Kansas City walks away with the win.
Well, that easy, huh? That easy.
And the reason I say that, so Vic Fangio is he has a formula that can beat Patrick Mahomes. It's never executed. It's literally never executed.
Explain. It's not enough for you to just say he has a formula.
So I went, they've been showing past games on different stations. So Vic Fangio he's fairly decent against the West Coast offense. He's good against these pick routes that the Chiefs love to do, and the little one-man option that Kelsey does and stuff like that. But the defensive communication for Vic Fangio teams is always terrible. I don't know if that's because he's getting in the play late. I don't know. That part I don't know. And if you can't communicate and it's a pick route, you're cooked. You coach DBs, you're cooked. Ain't nothing you can do. You can have Ed Reed, Troy Polamalu, Rod Woodson, Charles Woodson. If they don't communicate, you're cooked. It doesn't matter. And that's the problem with Vic Fangio. Is he going to get the communication fixed? I mean, it wasn't great last week against the Commanders. It wasn't great. Caps was still open. And now you have a very young secondary.
I won't say secondary, but I agree.
Very talented. Got a lot of Georgia players in it, but very talented secondary. But it is, I don't know if he gets that communication fixed. Because on paper, if you look, the receiver matchup, I get to the Eagles. Running back matchup, Eagles. Both trenches, Eagles. A linebacker I actually give to the Chiefs because of my high praise for Nick Bolton, another SEC guy. But Nick Bolton has been just outstanding and the unsung hero of this run for the Chiefs. Secondary, I get to the Eagles. Special teams definitely goes to the Chiefs because whatever that future accountant, he needs to be filling out Indeed applications because he can't kick. But he can't kick. The guy from the Eagles, he can't kick. I'm not even gonna say his name because I'm gonna be that disrespectful to him because he's horrible. And in the quarterback matchup, of course, you give it to the Chiefs just because they've been there. But coaching, I don't think is that huge of a gap that I get a slight edge to the Chiefs. But saying all that, on paper, I've just told you that the Eagles are going to win the game. But there's outside factors, the Mahomes competitive thing, the refs, the is Kellen Moore got one foot out the door, so is he actually focused? The slick Nick want the credit for this. Like it's a lot of other things. So Chiefs got to run the ball. Jalen Hurts got to be like, you know what? If I throw for 20 yards and we run for 400 and win, cool. I don't need if he's humble enough to keep hearing people saying his stats ain't good and AJ Brown reading books and crying and all that. If he's humble enough to take that and win him a Super Bowl and say he beat Pat Mahomes, so we don't have to hear about there's only one man that beat Pat Mahomes in the playoffs, which is complete BS because Brady did it twice, three
One
times I
current
think.
player. One current player is what.
Yeah. So I don't want to keep hearing goofy stats like that. If Jalen Hurts want to be that guy, be humble enough to do what it takes to win the game. Don't worry about no stats.
Okay. So for Kansas City to win this game, I feel like Philly has got to be a little stupid. Which I feel like that's the game within the game when you play teams like Kansas City, New England when they were at their type. You got to beat yourself because they're not going to beat you. So, in my opinion, Philly's got to be stupid. They got to. I know that they are a zone football team. This game, I would go man. I would go a little bit more man coverage than I would go uh than I would go zone defense. The reason why is that's where Travis Kelsey eats. He eats in zone coverage.
Mm-hmm.
If Travis Kelsey has a big game today, Kansas City will win the football. If he gets off today, they will win the football game. They need Travis Kelsey to be great on offense. On defense, they need Jalen Hurts to make some mistakes. One or two. He's got two. They've got to pray. They not pray. They've got to let him make some type of mistake to change this game around. Because as you said, I do agree with you when you say um yeah I'm gonna disagree with you on that in a minute. Um I do agree with you when you say on paper this should not be a close game in my opinion.
Should.
But um when you start to factor in Andy Reid and his coaching staff and how they go about their business, they're gonna find that they might find a way to actually make this a close game and give you a chance for Patrick Mahomes to once again show that he gives you just that slight edge that you need over everybody else when the other team just makes a mistake. Because that's what it's coming down to. It's just they just do a little bit more than everybody else to be able to win a football game. And I think that's how Kansas City's gonna win it. I don't think that they can win by a blowout. I don't think that
Mm.
they can win. Their offensive line is beat up. It's the fact that Tony has survived this long at left tackle is a tribute to Tony. It is incredibly.
God, I miss that guy. God.
It is it is a tribute because you ain't gonna find a lot of guards who can kick out to tackle, let alone left tackle. You not that's not gonna it's not something you can find.
God, I miss
So
that guy. I
so
just
again,
damn
everything.
it, William. What? God.
All right, let's go into Philly.
But
Let's go into
but but
Philly real quick.
real quick. So now I completely agree with you on the man portion. Um, I don't know why nobody has went back to watch the first of all the greatest Super Bowl individual Super Bowl halftime performance ever, Bruno Mars, brilliant. But that Super Bowl with Todd Bowles, the way he was cooking on defense, and y'all talking about, oh, it's the O line's fault and this and that, and it wasn't no O line. But he couldn't read a defense. That Tampa Bay D line was coming. They was pressing man, and they was like, hey, learn how to read a defense. Make a decision. Philly has the tools to do that. Slay cannot be on Xavier Worthy when they're pressing. Slay's knee is just as bad as mine. So he's gonna have to go to Hop. He have to go to Hop.
I agree.
I put Mitchell. I know that's a big ass, but I'm putting Mitchell on Xavier Worthy.
And I wouldn't necessarily press. I would still give him a cushion.
I I would press him because I don't want a little quick something to him. I would press him, but you got the second exciting white Reed Blankenship. I need him over the top of that. Young Cooper
Deshaun,
Cooper Wandon or whatever the hell his name is.
Dejan, bro. This is his name, bro. The Iowa goat. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's Caitlin Clark. But anyway, I
Nah, Dejan is that cat, bro. Go ahead.
I need Buddy to play like he's been playing all year. I don't really know who is going to be that third guy because Juju's not the guy. But I need him to
You
just.
know who the third guy is. You know who the third guy is. Go ahead and say his name.
Yeah, I don't know who the third guy is, but Juju's not a factor. So I need him to play in the slot. I need him to make some tackles. I need him to watch out for P. Ryan, who's going to catch a 10-yard pass. Everybody knows that P. Ryan's going to catch a 10-yard pass.
Got it on my ticket. Got it
He's
on my
going to
ticket.
catch a 10-yard pass. So
Got it
that's
on my
that.
ticket.
So I need young Coop to be in the alley for that. And then I need C.J. Gardner-Johnson to shut his mouth and play some football. Just play football. If that happens, we could see a Tampa Bay style game. But did Vic Fangio watch that Super Bowl? Is he going to say, you know what, let's get out of zone and let's man up and let's press these cats? Because all year they don't have the guy who I'm not scared of the Chiefs receivers.
On the outside. Nope.
I'm not.
You shouldn't be.
Xavier Worthy's fast. I'm still not scared of him. I'm scared once he catches the ball, but we got to get him to run the route and then catch it.
You done?
But yeah.
Go ahead. You didn't even talk about the offense yet. Go ahead.
The Philly offense.
Mm-hmm.
The Philly offense is very simple. You've got 2 Hall of Fame tackles. You got a Hall of Fame guard. You got 1,500 pounds of squatting in your backfield. Don't put that ball in the air. Unless you're throwing a little 5-yard slant to A.J. Brown. Don't put that ball in the air. You let Cam Farmer Jurgens lay his pork cutting, potato growing self on Chris Jones for 4 quarters. You bludgeon the Chiefs D line to death. Karlaftis or whatever. He is the Walmart version of Trey Hendrickson. He is not going to tackle a running back. He's not. He's simply not. Run right at him. Do not let him get a chance to get a strip sack. Run the ball, run the ball, run the ball.
So you're saying Saquon needs to get over 100 yards for them to win this football game?
You don't have to. Saquon can get 80. Jalen Hurts can get 80. Other brother, he can get 80. Run the ball, control the clock. And under 2 minutes, do not punt. Do not get the ball back to the Chiefs. None of that. When you have a chance to go for 2, go for 2. Don't be stupid like the 49ers. Okay? You see the formula. Under 2 minutes, Mahomes is going to win the game. Do not give him the ball. Lay on Chris Jones, Karlaftis, whoever they put on that D-line. Nick Bolton is going to make a play to change this game. Will it be the play that ultimately wins the game? It has been in their 2 Super Bowl wins. It has been. So you eliminate that, you're gonna beat this team. Refs or not.
Got you. So let's talk about defense. I already said. Play man to man. What's going on, Cam? What's up with you, bro? Play man to man. On the outside more than you go zone. Do not let Travis Kelce beat you if you are Philly's defense. The other thing is, bro, you got Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter inside. I'm gonna be honest with you. Y'all should cook them inside. They should have to feel like they got to push Tony back in the guard because of how you got Jalen Carter might be the best defensive tackle in football.
The UGA.
He might be the best defensive tackle in football right now. And you can't double team both of those guys. You can't double team both of those guys. So if Jordan Davis and Carter turn up, ball game. If they play up to their level of up to their talent, there's Kansas City they should not be able to run the football, and Pat should be essentially either throwing a ton of checkdowns or he's going to be running for his life like he did in Tampa.
Oh, don't forget
Essentially,
Nolan Smith, who was the former #1 overall recruit in high school, coming out of high school. I forgot what college he went to, but he was a former #1 overall recruit.
let them Georgia Bulldogs eat, bro. This is what it comes
Thank you.
down to when
Yep.
it comes to the on the defensive side. That game, this game really should be. I think on the defensive side of the ball, it should be one in the trenches. On the offensive side of the football, obviously, if you can run the football, run the football. That's obvious. If you're the Philadelphia Eagles, I just don't think. I don't think Kansas City's going to let Saquon run crazy. I don't think they are. And I think, this is where I'm gonna go into Jalen Hurts in a minute. I think that they're gonna sit up there and say, "Well, make Jalen Hurts." I think he's gonna put 8-9 in the box and dare Jalen Hurts to beat, which is the most disrespectful thing anybody can do to Jalen, to a quarterback. And I think ultimately, if you're Jalen Hurts, you got to play. You got to play like that. You got to earn that contract that you just signed for the first time all season. Well, not for the first time. For this is the game that you got paid for. Let me put it like that. This is the game that you got paid for. Because I can't see Kansas City allowing Saquon to run crazy. At least not early. I believe early Jalen Hurts is going to have to be that guy. They're gonna say, okay, you got AJ Brown, you got Devontae Smith on the outside. Y'all them versus our corners. And let's see if you can consistently hook us on every possession and not make a mistake. And I
I
think
don't,
Jalen's gonna be able to do it. Oh,
but
go ahead.
I don't think he has to beat them per se. The 5-yard slant to AJ Brown is money. Is gold. Like you could just keep throwing that, and then they bite on one slant and go.
I agree. It does not have to be hard. It doesn't have to be complex.
Yeah, we don't need
It's pitch and catch. It's
Mhm.
pitch and catch. Get it to your receivers and let them do the work.
Mhm.
It's real simple. It's real simple but in my opinion, and this is where I want to transition into Jalen Hurts and what this means for him. This is the game for Jalen Hurts. This is maybe the biggest game. I don't know, maybe. This is the biggest game of Jalen Hurts' career. And a lot of people are saying it don't have an impact one way or another. I think it does.
No,
I
it
think it
has
does.
an
I think he
impact,
should
but
treat it. I think he should treat it as well as that.
this this is I'm gonna give a quick off the subject, but a quick shout out to Nick Saban. This was I, I'm mad a conversation like this got leaked to the media, but this was Jalen Hurts wasn't the passer. Jalen Hurts couldn't pass. He wasn't anything. Nick Saban said, "You're gonna have to learn how to pass. We don't have time to develop you as a passer. You need to go somewhere else." He suggested Oklahoma. He suggested Lincoln Riley. This Nick Saban pushed for this. This is you caring about your player. This is you want. You're not necessarily looking at your team success. You're looking at an individual player success. So, as a coach, that is beautiful. But this is why you went to Oklahoma for that 1 year. This was it. So you can learn the pass. You can learn like, okay, they're gonna stop the run. Now this is where you gotta put that arm up a little bit. Put that ball over your shoulder. Hit that slant. This is the little tweak mechanics that you had to learn. This is that time. Today is that time. Now we rarely see quarterbacks get back to the bowl after losing. So that's a testament to
First
y'all.
time since Kelly.
I keep hearing that people he's a game manager and all this. You're not a game manager if you keep doing this. It's starting to be consistent. Like check his resume. Like he don't want to talk about his stats. I will. Check his resume. When's the last
It's
time Buddy even threw a pick?
been like since week 3, week 4, somewhere around there.
We didn't have Orange Dude in the office. It's been that long. There's a different president. Sleepy Joe was awake. It's been that long since that brother has thrown a pick. So yeah, y'all gonna game manager? No. To put him in the same sentence as a Trent Dilfer, y'all gotta stop that. Y'all gotta watch football games.
Jalen
He'll
Hurts
throw.
is he's probably been the most disrespected quarterback probably since college.
Yes,
Since his college time. I don't think I've ever seen a guy have as much success as Jalen Hurts has had in his career and still be completely disrespected.
he's
I mean, people
done
want to bring up
nothing
the.
but win. Like
I,
nothing but win.
I don't understand the disrespect because the question there was a question that was going around the sports media. If Jalen Hurts wins, where would you put him in the upper echelon of quarterbacks in the NFL? And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, he's got to be like top 2 or 3, right? He's got to. I mean, the stats maybe don't the stats don't necessarily tell that maybe he should be there. But when you think about it, he's got more All Pros than Joseph Lee Burrow, who's 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 universally known as a top quarterback. So he's got more All Pros than him. He's got more Super Bowl trips than Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, and Joe Burrow all combined. And he'd be in that and now what everybody says, well, Joe Burrow's the only person that can slow his heartbeat down to beat Patrick Mahomes. Well, Jalen Hurts would have done that, right? So what's the argument? I mean, and if it's a Super Bowl MVP, in my opinion, how does that not put him at the very least above Joe Burrow? At the very least, I mean, from a career, and I'm not just singling out Joe. Let me just say that I'm not just singling out Joe, but at the very least, when you talk about accomplishments and what that man has done in his as an accolade, he's got more accolades than this than the person that people say is number 2 who has no accolades whatsoever. So I'm asked with 2 Pro Bowls. My bad. He's got 2 Pro Bowls, but he done no All Pros. Where are we getting this? Why are we disrespecting Jalen Hurts because it don't look quarterback?
It don't look. So we want to see 400 yards and 4 touchdown passes. We want to see these 707 numbers. We don't want to see an operation of the quarterback position. So we want to say we bring up the Vic thing, like, oh man, Vic can do things now that he couldn't do before. Well, the way Jalen Hurts is reading these RPOs and these read options, that's a skill. This is not a stat. Like him, they showed a play earlier on the like Saquon is just getting tackled in the backfield. Jalen Hurts getting 10-yard rushing. That led to a play action over the top, and then led to a touchdown. That's called operation.
Here's my issue with, and this is why I said earlier in the year I kind of said Saquon might have been the MVP, but then I had to think about it. Last time I checked, the Philadelphia Eagles had won what 11 games last year, 10, 11 games last year.
Mhm.
We're in the Super Bowl the year before. So you added Saquon, he made your team better. I don't think anybody,
Yeah, duh.
says
Went from
says
Wendell
anything else.
Smallwood and Miles
Yeah,
Sanders
yeah.
to Saquon. Okay, yeah,
To
duh.
Saquon, he made you better. But this was already a good football team. Jalen Hurts was already playing at a pretty good level, and for whatever reason we tend to forget 2 years ago probably would have been league MVP if not for the injury at the end of the season. He missed like the last 3 or 4 games, and that opened the door for Patrick Mahomes to win that league MVP. That literally opened the door. Had he not been hurt that year, the year where he actually outplayed Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl, he would have outplayed Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl and been the MVP of the league that year. So why are we disrespecting a guy who literally, I think that year he was second in MVP voting? At what
Um,
point? What?
and then I'm looking at this point. Jalen Hurts has won because he's played on all-star teams. What championship team didn't have talent?
The teams that you sit there and say, well, they were a little bit. I don't think Kansas City's a overly talented team.
They have they have the guy who has the number one playoff yardages in receptions. number 2 in Super Bowl history. That he a future Hall of Famer.
He's older though. You could tell Travis. But the reason why I said that
They got
Philly should probably.
they got
But
2 Hall of Famers on the O line.
the reason why I put the fact that Philly should go man-to-man coverage against Philly, I mean against Kansas City, had everything to do with the fact that Travis is not getting separation in man coverage like he has in the past. So I don't want to sit up there and make it. You know what I mean? I don't want to sit up there.
I mean, he's not the Travis Oak. They have like 5 Hall of Famers on this team. Like we're not going to act like Kansas City not talented. To get to this point, you have to have talent.
You got to have talent.
Yeah. So
sure.
Jalen Hurts played on an all-star team. Well, Bray's favorite quarterback, Joseph Lee Burrow, had a triple crown receiver, 1,000-yard receiver.
Don't do that.
The all-time receptions leader in Cincinnati Bengals history.
I'm not
went to the Super Bowl and lost to Matt Stafford.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing?
That was a pretty bad offense. That was a pretty bad offensive line. That was a fairly bad offensive line.
And Joe Mixon, who was a Pro Bowler, still.
It was a fairly bad offense. I give him.
It's but we still. You got all that on offense. Hey, that's not an all-star team, right?
So it sounds like what people are starting to say is they're putting Jalen Hurts and Brock Purdy in the same.
That's what it's starting to sound like. But again,
essentially.
And my rebuttal to that is, we've seen the 49ers without Brock Purdy. It wasn't Purdy. It was not. We've seen the Eagles without Jalen Hurts. They lost to the Commanders badly. Jalen Hurts went out in that first quarter. Kenny Pickett couldn't do it. Former first-round pick Kenny Pickett, I might add, who led the Steelers to the playoffs. He couldn't.
They won the next week though. I mean, it's. Let's.
Would they have the same success with Kenny Pickett as a quarterback? The answer is simply no.
Okay, so
they won a game because their defense had to force 5 turnovers.
Okay, so my question: where would they have the same success? No. How many games they win? 13.
Yeah.
So I would say if you put Kenny Pickett on Philly, they might win 7 or 8. I think 7, 8, 9, maybe 9, maybe topping out. Which I mean, that's to set up
significantly
there
more.
Yeah, it's significantly more. But I get what
no. Josh Allen, Bryce Young, no. Not
hold on. Because I even said you take Josh Allen off of Buffalo, I think they're a 2 or 3 win team. So being fair, if you take Jalen Hurts off of Philly, I say 8 to 9 wins. I mean, it's not a significant drop. You're not a playoff team, in my opinion. But
not a playoff team to competing for a Super Bowl. That's a significant drop.
That's a significant drop, but it's not. I think to their point, there is still a good team around. Is what I'm saying.
But you can't be a bad team and be playing for a Super Bowl.
Sure. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying. I'm just kind of putting that in the context because I think there is obviously with Deebo Samuel asking for a trade today. I think we are going to see how good Brock Purdy really is over the next year or two. We're going to see.
Brock Purdy's great. He just got to get they need a head coach.
You know, and I think your disrespect of Shanahan is crazy.
They got a great OC, but they just need a head coach.
Your disrespect of Shanahan needs to stop, bro. But I think maybe that's what people want to see. They want to see Jalen do it with less. But it's like, why does he have to? I mean,
because they have a great GM. Because they're smart enough to have a great GM and draft well. No, you play with what you have around you.
My problem is I never heard this conversation about Troy Aikman. Troy Aikman had one of some loaded rosters for years.
Never heard that.
Super Bowls off of. Never heard about Troy
Aikman. The point was made. I brought up the Bengals, bro.
Working hard about to let you have it, bro.
I don't care. What duo would you rather have? Chase and T or Brown and Smith?
It's not that far off. I'd rather have T and Jamar. Have T and Jamar. But let's not make it seem like Brown and Devontae ain't like that. That's a nice little dude.
It is. But
And
we
you have Dallas Goddard. So let's be fair.
and
I
Mike
would take him
Gesicki
over
can
Gasecki.
catch.
I would take him over Gasecki.
Now,
Dallas
if
Goddard.
well, yeah, because Goddard actually blocks. Gesicki
Exactly.
doesn't. Gesicki can't spell block, but that as just pure receiver,
Yeah.
give me Gesicki.
Mm,
Pure receiver.
mm. I don't know. I didn't want to make this a Bengals thing, but I don't know about this.
But
I don't know about that.
is Brock Purdy great? His stats say he is.
I think Smith is better than T. I think he's a better route runner than T. Higgins, without question. But
But we not to bring up Purdy. That narrative has to be gone too because we saw them without Purdy. It was not Purdy, guys. I,
can I
y'all,
can I
y'all.
inter- can I interject with that though? You said it's not Purdy. Didn't Jimmy Garoppolo take a similar roster to the Super Bowl?
Similar
Just
roster.
to be fair, it was similar. That roster was similar.
Jimmy Garoppolo's okay. He's okay. No, we're not gonna. He's okay, but the 49ers team under Purdy was better than Jimmy Garoppolo's team
What do you
because of
base that
what.
off of?
Well, I hate to do this, but they did go to overtime with the Chiefs.
I mean, you still lost though. I mean,
I mean, they did
technically
still
Jimmy
lose.
technically Jimmy had a 10-point lead going into the fourth quarter. If we doing that type of at the end of the day you lost.
Purdy's numbers look better.
They do. Yeah, they
So,
do. I'll give you that.
so I'm give me Purdy over Jimmy G.
So Marcus, to that question real quick. So if just a dub does it for you, does he have to be great in order to silence the critics, or does he have to be great and get a dub, or just a dub does it? Jimmy Garoppolo is an average quarterback. And to say he ass is crazy, bro.
Yeah, that's
That's
insane.
crazy. That's
That's
crazy.
insane.
That's crazy. Dude's winning percentage is too good for you to say he ass. Bro. That's the UC.
Stats can tell part of a story, but you got to use your eyes. Like we, at some point, you got to use your eyes.
I think the other thing with Jalen, just to kind of piggyback off of it, is to your point, the eye test. People feel like Joe Burrow, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, obviously, Patrick Mahomes are more talented quarterbacks. Would that be fair?
Yeah, but Jalen is. You can only be what you are. Again, Jalen is not the
Fair.
greatest passer. He
Fair.
had to learn to be a better passer. He had to learn touch. He had to learn timing. He did that. He's improving as a passer. He's not putting the ball in harm's way. That's the biggest thing. His next step will probably be uh, better timing, better anticipation on his throws. But right now, he's not putting the ball in harm's way. So you don't just go from not being able to pass to throwing them Dan Marino passes. Like that's not realistic. Improvement is what you want to see year in year out. Uh, Patrick Mahomes, y'all know I'm not a Mahomes guy. His mental has improved tremendously since he first came in the league. That's why he's looking the way he does. Because all that throwing the ball 80 yards and toting the ball downfield and flopping out of bounds at the end of a big run, nobody cares about that. I care about his mental. I care about his pre-snap, what he's doing, what he's looking at. He's
He
greatly improved
and
in
I
that.
and I think that's one of the things that is kind of separating Pat from his contemporaries is Tom Brady said something that I think was he was on the herd. The only reason why I kind of
That's your
like fell into
man's.
watching it.
That's your man's. You love to herd.
I cannot stand Colin Cowherd, but Tom was on there this week. And he had talked about what happened with him with Tampa versus Kansas City this week. Did you see that?
Yeah,
When they played the Super Bowl. He talked about the fact that he was like he said I knew the answers to the test.
yeah.
And no, we're not talking about him cheating. He said I knew. He said because I studied so much that there was nothing Spags could throw at me. that, and this probably goes back to Josh Allen. This is nothing to spec. I'm fair, fool. Unfair. Don't even do that. There's
I
nothing specs. There's nothing specs could throw at me that I wasn't ready for. He said I wouldn't even snap the ball if I wasn't sure about what I was looking at. He said I had studied that hard. He said that quarterbacks today are not they're not there. They're making
there's
plays
seven
once
on
the ball
seven
is snapped.
guys.
Once the
Yes.
ball is snapped, that's when they're making plays. He said before snap would even so before when I got to the line of scrimmage, I know what we just called. Okay, I'm not gonna snap the ball if I know these guys are running routes right into the defense. I know I'm not gonna be able to complete a pass. I know. Okay, so I got to do this to kind of get us in a better spot so that we can actually be successful. That's my job as the quarterback position. He said we got a lot of athletes playing quarterback as opposed to guys who are doing it between here. He said this was his superpower. It was nothing else. So I think that's got to be Jalen's superpower today. He's got to. We're going to see how good Jalen really processes information because Spags is going to throw some things at him for sure today.
Now, the first Super Bowl, Jalen did I can't say
Can't stand
masterful because
Colin,
he
bro.
didn't win.
I can't stand Colin, bro.
No, you always bring up Colin. I told you to stop listening to that white man, but you kept
Bro,
going.
I've hated Colin Cowherd for years, bro, for over a
I
decade.
always have. But anyway, but the first Super Bowl, Jalen didn't play masterful because he didn't win, but he played a brilliant mental game. He took what was there. Like again, I everybody said, "Hey, you just a hater. You the quarterbacks. This is a golden age." No, it's not. None of these guys are watching film. None of these guys do anything pre-snap.
I ain't gonna say that they're not. I don't say they're not watching film. Are they? Are
They
they?
don't watch
Are they?
enough.
Are they watching to the extent that you're used to with guys like Peyton? Because remember, we grew up in the era of Peyton Manning, Drew Brees,
Yeah.
Tom Brady, of those guys who weren't mobile, didn't have that extra gear from a physical standpoint, so they had to be sharp up here.
So I'm looking at guys who just, oh well, oh I know they're blitzing. I don't know from where, but I'm gonna outrun it, or I'm just gonna chuck it deep. I don't want to see that. I want you to be pre-snap. Oh, let's send a motion. Oh, he didn't go with the motion. I know his man. Run this pick route. Whatever we got going on. We don't have a lot of that. So that's right now is what's setting Mahomes apart because now he's doing that, and he's doing that at the highest level I've seen since Brady. And I hate saying that because I don't ever want to compare those two because one of them can't beat the other
We
one.
might as well do it right now. So, what does this win do for Patrick Mahomes?
It's not 7.
So, where
I,
does it put
I,
him?
it's not 7.
I'm just asking where does it put him? It don't have to. It don't have to be in front of or at Tom Brady's level. Where does it put him? Because
I
we
don't.
asked that because I asked the question last year. Where did 3 put him? And I don't think you had him at 2 yet.
Is he better than? First of all, I don't think he's better than Elway. So that's just. But that again, that's me. I'm a I'm a Brady. I love Elway. I can't stand Peyton Manning, but I still got Peyton over him.
You got Peyton in front of him. Yeah, I can't do that, dog.
And yeah,
I
y'all gonna
might
say
have gave you
Peyton.
Elway.
Peyton got 2. He'll have 4 if he wins today.
I'm not even speaking on just the. I'm not even just speaking on just the rings. Peyton was a different quarterback in the postseason. He wasn't very good postseason, and I'm not just talking wins and losses. He had some blunders in the postseason, bro. So I think honestly I think Peyton Manning is probably the greatest regular season quarterback of all time. When you talk about postseason, he was more Joe Flacco. I think Eli might have been a better postseason quarterback than Peyton.
That's true.
So that's why I'm like, nah, I can't put him. I can't put Peyton over Pat because Pat rarely has a bad game in the playoffs. Rarely. He might actually be better come playoff time than he is during the regular season.
Well,
I
yeah,
think that might actually be fair.
he's at home with the refs. So yeah, that's how that happens.
You won't let that go, will you? You won't let that go. What you mean
Yeah,
F out of here? Working hard. What you mean? But That's why I won't put him over Peyton. But as far as I can get the sentiment a little bit with Elway, just a little bit. But I would still put him over Elway because I mean what's your all time list right now? Right this moment.
God, man, why
No,
you
I'm
keep
putting
putting
you.
me
I'm
on the
putting you on the
spot?
spot. Yeah, I'm putting you on the spot. Go ahead.
Well, I just gave you my top three. I guess with that sentiment, Mahomes is four.
You got him forward. Okay. Um. Um. I would put. I'm gonna go Brady. I'm gonna still go Montana at two, and then I'll go Pat. I'll go Pat. I think Pat need this one to overtake Joe.
And then, see, that's where we differ. I got Pat over Montana because I got Montana at five, and the reason is, I mean, you did have Mister Stickum himself.
Man, come on, bro. Come on, man. Don't do that. Don't do that. Jerry would be a great receiver no matter what. Don't do that.
Yeah, Stickum.
Don't do it. Don't do that.
I mean, I didn't.
It was a
I just
lot of
said.
receivers. It was a lot of receivers that used that bullshit, bro. Don't do that.
I mean, he had Stickum in the West Coast offense.
I mean, but
That's
you
what he had. Ain't no disrespect. I didn't say Jerry's not great. I didn't even rank Jerry. I just said he had Jerry and Stickum. This was a Montana thing. We haven't went into Jerry. There's no reason to go into Jerry.
Montana, I got Montana at two. Um, Pat at three. I'd probably go. I'll go Peyton at four, and then Elway probably at five.
I don't.
I'm leaning to.
So I don't. I don't. I want to put this out there. Yes, I have Elway over Montana. No, I'm not going to be called a hater or saying I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Um, Elway was that guy. Elway was that guy. And we're gonna do, for the sake of this, we're gonna overhype Rod Smith. We're gonna overhype Ed McCaffrey. We not gonna we need to overhype that dog. Go ahead, TD. The UGA. We've done a lot of
I was about to say,
UGA.
I want you to
We did a
disrespect
lot of
Daniel
UGA
Davis.
today, boy.
I,
That hey man, it's been
I want
brilliant.
you to disrespect. I want you to disrespect that boy. I'm waiting
We
on it.
we did a brilliant job of hyping the UGA today. But
But you just said a
Elway
lot of
again.
dogs though, right now. You just said a lot of dogs, bro. That he needed to win a
I,
championship.
listen, Rod Smith's cool. Ed McCaffrey cool. They ain't stick 'em.
No, they ain't Jerry Rice.
Combined, they ain't stick 'em. So
No, no. But I mean, you are forgetting one player that.
the second best tight end of all time.
Ooh, you got him second.
I I keep telling y'all this. I don't.
Who's
It's
one?
not a
You got Gronk. You got Gronk one, right?
yeah.
Okay, okay. We about to veer off a whole different. I'm not. I don't have Shannon as two.
That's fine.
I don't have Gronk. I don't have Gronk as one either, though. But
That's even
um,
worse.
I I don't have Gronk as one either. Damn. But just to go off of that, that's a lot. That's a lot of talent, bro. That's a lot of
It
talent
is.
that John had,
But
bro.
you have to get the ball to that talent. You got to win the bowls.
I mean, I mean, he wasn't even TD was the MVP, bro. It wasn't even John.
He lost to a dog. Many have done it. It
I
happened.
mean, I'm just saying he wasn't even the best player on the team when he actually won his titles, bro.
Listen, hey, he won. I just love the way Elway played. I'm just
Gronk, Travis,
go ahead and call
Tony,
it
and
what it is.
Chark.
It's a bias.
I got Gronk as the best tight end ever. I have him as
You
the
just said
best
you
tight
didn't.
end. No, I have. There's a difference between the best and the GOAT. I don't have Gronk as the GOAT tight end. But I do have him as the best ever because at his best, I don't think that there's a better tight end to ever play the sport. At his best, at his peak. But as when we talk about GOAT, I would actually put Tony G as one. Because I believe he completely he
So
the position he what?
this is my favorite position in pro football. So you striking a nerve.
Go ahead.
Name me the tight end that had 1,000 yards and blocked for a 2,000-yard rusher in the same year.
You giving him alone credit for Terrell Davis's success. You're not about to do that, bro. You
Answer.
not to do that.
It's a simple question.
No, that's a stat that I don't even care about, bro. No,
Who has the longest
no, you're
reception
not
in
about to do
history
that.
for a tight end?
Sure.
Who has the record for most yards in a single game for a tight end?
Who's number 2 all time in receiving yards as a tight end?
What's not Michelle for it?
Who
You
was
gotta
throwing him
win,
the
bro.
football? Who was throwing him the football? To be able to do that with the quarterbacks he played with is insane, bro.
You gotta win.
To be able to do
Gronk
that with the
won.
quarterbacks he played with is insane. So you telling me? So quick question: you're telling me if you swap Shannon and Tony G, and they both get a chance to play in different spots, Tony don't win 2 Super Bowls?
I don't like that hypothetical because I don't think Tony can block.
He can block.
I don't think Tony can
Just a
block.
receiver. He's not just a receiver.
I don't
Tony can block,
think
bro.
Tony can block.
Tony can block, bro.
Tony can get in the
block.
way.
He's
He can
maybe
get in the
not.
way.
He's not the blocker that I would say Shannon and Gronk are. I will acknowledge that. I will acknowledge that. But he don't make it seem like he a pushover once blocked. He's not Mike Gesicki. Let's not do that.
He's more Travis Kelce than he is George Kittle.
Hey, what's wrong with that?
Kittle gets his face dirty. His face mask be all beat up after a game.
Okay.
Travis Kelce, you don't even have to really put his stuff in the laundry.
Travis gonna block. Don't do that. Travis gonna block, bro. You're not about to disrespect the UC product.
No,
bro. We not doing
Travis
that.
gonna catch the ball and dance. He gonna run great routes. He gonna do all that. He might get in the way. Yeah, he gonna get in the way. He get that from his brother.
I'm not giving you. I'm not. You're not about to disrespect Trav, but
I'm not disrespecting.
I got Tony. Tony G to me was so much better as a target. Like he was really the first tight end that we saw make a transition from the NBA. That first group of tight ends from being like a basketball player coming in and be a tight end. Like it went from him to Antonio Gates to now these tight ends that we see now. It's like he redefined the position to me. So that's why I got Tony G up there because it's like, bro, he got receiver caliber stats at the tight end position when you didn't really throw the football for real like that.
I mean, but Kellen Winslow Sr. could have been Tony G if they threw the ball.
He wasn't. Tony G was just that dude, and then I think he was still catching for like dang near 1,000 yards when he got with Matt Ryan, and he was like 36, 37 years old.
And
it was insane, bro.
And again, I have to make the announcement, the public service announcement. This is not disrespect to Tony G. Tony G is a top 5 tight end. Okay, Tony G is my third.
I don't think you could get away with not saying he's top 5.
Tony G is the third best tight end ever to me, and his knock is he does not block.
No. See, that's your problem. That's your problem right there when it comes to certain athletes. You go absolute. If they're not great at something, if they're not great at something, you sit up there and say that they don't do it. Tony Gonzalez can block.
He may have blocked for 1,000-yard rusher. He may have blocked for 1 or 2. It's not a he. It's a difference between getting in the way and blocking.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
You watch George Kittle, you see people on their back.
So do you have George Kittle over Kelce? All time? Cut that shit out, bro. Cut it out right now. Cut it out right now.
You
didn't say yes or no. You didn't say yes or no.
Nothing was said. Nothing was said.
Yeah, you tripping, bro. You tripping.
But I'm just saying, Gates and Kittle get disrespected because they're not out there just playing receiver and running little option routes. They block too.
Yeah, they block. They're complete tight ends. I don't have any. They're
not just
complete tight ends.
Slow receivers.
Are definitely complete tight ends.
They're not
definitely complete tight ends.
Yeah, they're not
But
just slower receivers.
it's not a knock to sit up there and say that still Kelsey is a good blocking tight end. He's not great. He's a good
No, he's
blocking
not
tight
good.
end. Tony Gonzalez is a
He's
good blocking
below
tight end.
average. He's
You
below
don't see
average.
no, don't say the below average. Because if he was below average, they would take him off the field, just like we
They
used
do.
to do Gasecki.
They
No,
do.
not for run play. No.
They
Kelsey will get
do.
it. Kelsey get in there and block, bro. Don't do that.
There is footage of him yelling at Andy Reid because he got taken off the field because Andy Reid knows, but he can't block. He's literally cussing out
That's not
Andy
why
Reid.
he got taken. That's not
hit
why he got
Andy
taken
Reid
off the field.
and Andy Reid is like, if you'd have hit the defender like that, maybe I could leave you on the field on run plays. Like,
Whatever,
come on
dude.
now.
Whatever, dude. Now you coming off as hating the most famous the most famous man in the world right now.
Yeah. And his girl got to have security because he's not blocking paparazzi from her.
That's not his job. That's
But
not
I'm
his
just saying,
job.
in
Hey,
no aspect of his life
if
does he
y'all want a
block.
good bet for the day, if y'all want to get a good bet for the day, they got plus 800 that he proposed today if they win the Super Bowl. I might go ahead and put some money on that. Just because it's a show.
But that's
It would be the most it would be the most Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce thing ever. So I gotta put some money down on that, bro. Just a little like a dollar. Just to win a little bit of money off of that, bro.
And I saw a comment, oh, working hard, you've been on here before, bro. Like, what
We
do
ain't
you
never had
mean?
him actually on the show. We ain't never had him on the show.
Yes, we have.
I don't remember him actually being on there. But we need to get a couple guys. We definitely need to get a couple guys for sure. Working hard, he usually tune in quite a bit, so
Yeah,
it's
we
overdue for him.
appreciate you. Yeah, we appreciate you.
It's definitely overdue for him. Speaking of which, I gotta get going. I got the family upstairs. You got anything you want to say before we get off?
Yeah, man. Quick game pick. I am gonna go ahead and go with the Eagles.
Yeah, that's right.
I just think it's their time. Again.
What's your score?
26-22. It's gonna be something weird because the NFL they trying something.
I would say
how many millions did she do on her tour? Like, she's gonna have something to do with this. Like,
your hatred for Swifties is crazy.
She probably sold 22 million. I don't know, something 22 million seats. So we'll go with 22-26 Eagles.
All right, I'm going Philly too. I'm gonna go 34-20. 34-20.
That's what Mike Greenberg had.
I'm gonna go. I didn't even know that, but I'm gonna go 34-20. Philadelphia, just because I believe. I don't believe that. I believe Philly's gonna get a nice little lead early. I think this is gonna be a fairly boring Super Bowl. We're due. We've had some great Super Bowls recently.
Yeah.
So we're due for one of those Super Bowls that somebody get their ass kicked, and I think it's gonna be tonight. I think Philly is gonna do exactly what they're supposed to do and take care of business. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm rooting hard for Jalen Hurts to get this done because I'm tired of him being disrespected. But on top of that, I really don't want to hear this bullshit tomorrow about Pat in Kansas City. I really don't want to hear it. I will not tune into Sports Center or ESPN tomorrow if
That's
they win
Chicago.
tomorrow. I don't have a problem with Pat. I love Pat.
I know that's your guy. That's your man.
I'm
100 grand.
tired. I'm tired.
He the greatest of all time.
And I know it's me being a hypocrite coming from a Pats fan. But yes, I'm being very hypocritical. I'm tired of Kansas City. I'm tired of Kansas City. So I am hoping Philly get this done, and then we can get to the off season and start seeing some transactions. I'm ready. I'm ready as a Pats fan. I am so ready for the off season. So you got anything else?
Thank y'all for tuning in as usual. Be safe out here in these streets. Stand together for solidarity. Some stuff happened in Cincinnati this week, yeah. And then, last but not least, man. Hey man, shout out to Hubie Brown. This is his last game he called it. That's who taught us the game of basketball, not this. This is the greatest age of basketball. Hubie Brown's been doing this for 53 years, and in his 53rd year, he's saying this is crap and he's out of here. Y'all done ran Hubie off with all this 3 and
He's just
three
old, bro.
transition three.
He's
Nah,
just old, bro.
nah. He don't want to see this BS no more. So shout out to Hubie Brown, man.
All right, brother. All right, thank y'all for checking in with us. We're back on Wednesday, no matter what. Me and C, if it's just me and C again, it's gonna be me and C again on Wednesday, and we'll do a quick recap of NFL season, as well as talk some basketball. All right, y'all. Later.
Go dogs.